Online influencer Shola Mos-Shogbamimu recently posted on X, and I quote, "I am against the death penalty, but for you, Rupert Lowe, I'll gladly make the exception."
Breaking right now, Rupert Lowe has hit back at that race beta-in-chief, the anti-white racist herself, Dr. Shola, after he revealed that the police were going to take no action against her, despite quite clearly inciting violence against the Restore Britain leader, something he believes proves that there is now two-tier Britain, given the action taken against Lucy Connolly. So let me rewind back to where this story started. You might remember that Rupert Lowe had advocated for restoring the death penalty. Actually, a popular position, right, in the United Kingdom, but one that seems to apparently make you an extremist in the mainstream media world. Dr. Shola responded, writing, "Then execute white criminals by death penalty first." She made this about race. Rupert Lowe had not said a thing. He wanted the death penalty restored for the most heinous, most horrific, and most monstrous crimes. But he hadn't made it an issue of race. She then went on, "There are more heinous, horrific, and monstrous white criminals than there are foreign criminals. I'm against the death penalty, but for you, Rupert Lowe, I'll gladly make the exception." Rupert responded, "Lucy Connolly was in prison for months over one foolish social media post. Let's see what happened here." And Dr. Shola then taunted the authorities and the Metropolitan Police, writing, "Bring it on. Even the Met Police sees through your lie. Not only did I not threaten you with death penalty, I don't care about you. You're so desperate to be a victim. I departed from my principal stance against death penalty for you if you execute white British criminals first, following your call to execute foreign criminals." Yes, foreign criminals, Dr. Shola. He hadn't spoken about their colour, okay? Because just to clarify, you can be a foreign criminal if you are white, for example, from Poland. This was not about race. It was about ethnicity. She went on, "You're just another racist, anti-Muslim, Islamophobic bigot who weaponizes the public office to incite hate. Carry on." Now, I got involved in this too, writing, "Dr. Shola now calling for the execution of Rupert Lowe, but the MSM will continue to have this hard leftist hate preacher on their cosy sofas. They're as bad as each other." She responded, "Hey, dumbass Stan Wootton, it's better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid than open it and remove all doubt. Your comprehension of the English language is sorely lacking, but I expect no less from intellectual dishonest frauds like you, making an exception for Rupert Lowe by agreeing to depart from my principled stance against the death penalty as long as he executes white British criminals first." It's calling out his duplicity and double standards. You walking, talking oppressor masquerading as a victim. On a lighter note, do I finally make number one of your UK most hated list? I was offended when I came third last time. Well, I mean, it's highly possible. It is highly possible you will go up that list, Dr. Shola, because I actually think you are the type of hate preacher who needs to go. You hate Britain so much. You hate the white native population so much. This country would be so much better without you in it. Now, Rupert Lowe took this issue of Dr. Shola to Parliament, this Westminster Hall debate with Lucy Connolly, where he revealed that the police had washed their hands of her incitement to violence. Watch.
Online influencer Shola Mos-Shogbamimu recently posted on X, and I quote, "I am against the death penalty, but for you, Rupert Lowe, I'll gladly make the exception." This post currently has 2 million views. The Met Police have said no action will be taken. I don't want people in prison for social media posts. I also don't want such obvious two-tier policing. Shola walks free, yet Lucy Connolly was imprisoned for one foolish social media post, soon deleted. Where is the fairness in that?
And Paul Thorpe, that is the question, is it not? Where is the fairness in that? Because we all know that Dr. Shola was inciting violence against Rupert Lowe, we all know that she was engaging in very obvious anti-white racism by saying that white criminals should be executed before non-white criminals, something that Rupert Lowe had never said. Now, we can laugh that off, right? I happily laugh that off. You know, I don't want anyone arrested for speech. But it is the absolutely revolting double standards where, and I will say it, white Britons are still being arrested all the time, yet the Metropolitan Police ignore someone like Dr. Shola.
Well, Dr. Shola bringing race unnecessarily into a debate, big surprise, eh?
I know. Look, maybe the least surprising moment of the week. Paul.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, Dan, at the end of the day, the only thing that I will give her is, yeah, sure, I'd like to see people like Ian Huntley subject to the death penalty. It wouldn't bother me one bit, but it's ridiculous. Why do these people... Dan, these people are dangerous. This is never, ever, ever, for any of us within this movement, within this space, been about race.
No.
Let's put that to bed once and for all. We do not care. And Dan, I'm pretty sure I speak for you when I say this. We love people of all colours.
Absolutely.
It's about culture. It's about...
I'm colourblind.
Exactly, Dan.
But you know, they call me racist for that.
Dan, the word racist now is becoming a compliment almost, because if someone calls you a racist, you know you've won the argument. What I want to see is people come onto your show, onto mine, and prove us wrong. That I can respect. If someone can prove me wrong, then I've learned something. I always say that. I enjoy being proven wrong because then I've learned something. But unfortunately, these people teach us nothing other than intolerance. And is it incitement? Well, I wouldn't want to see her personally go to jail for a comment like that. I personally wouldn't.
I totally agree.
She is a race baiter. She is a troublemaker. And it is people like this that are causing divide between black and white people who should be brothers and sisters and enjoy our lives together. We make our way in life together. We become all proud of being British under one flag, sharing the same pint on a Friday night and the same football match on a Saturday afternoon. People like Dr. Shola do not want that because there is no money in unification, only division.
Oh, yes. I think that's a really important point to make, by the way, Paul. She is on a massive grift. Narinder Kaur is on a massive grift, you know, because Narinder used to say things about Islam, which, you know, even we wouldn't say, but she doesn't anymore because there is a massive grift going on.
I refuse to mention her name. She's not worthy of a mention to me personally. Dan, I've never mentioned her and I never will because she is just a grifter, a race-baiting grifter, a religious grifter. And frankly, look, if that's how she earns her money, if that's her shtick, that's her shtick, right? But for me, she's not for me.
Rupert Lowe also attacked Reform UK at this debate, Paul. And I do think it's something that is forgotten quite often because remember, this was a debate all about free speech. And you will remember that Reform UK, which claims to be for free speech, did report Rupert Lowe to the police for hurty words in an apparent argument with Zia Youssef. I do wonder if we've forgotten that all too quickly, Paul. Watch. But first, as we get older, you notice it. After a cold, a hard workout, even a long week, recovery just isn't as quick as it used to be, right? That bounce back factor matters. And it turns out the secret isn't luck, it's stem cells, your body's built-in repair crew. With age, that system slows down. Fewer cells, weaker signals, slower recovery. That's exactly why Qualia created Qualia Stem Cell. Think of it this way. Your cells are powerful. Qualia Stem Cell helps keep them that way. It's crafted with nature's heavy lifters, sea buckthorn, royal jelly, and more to support your body's natural repair system so you can keep moving, healing, and thriving. You don't have to accept slowing down. This is about supporting better aging by reactivating the systems that help you bounce back. And it's refreshingly simple. You take it just 4 days a month. So if you've ever felt like your body just doesn't bounce back like it used to, whether it's after a tough workout, getting sick, or just the wear and tear of life, this is for you. Qualia Stem Cell was designed to support your body's natural repair systems, helping you heal, recover, and keep going strong. And right now, you can try it for up to 50% off at qualialife.com/Dan. And here's a bonus. Use the code Dan for an additional 15% off your order. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan. Your body's built to repair itself. Qualia just helps it do it that better. And a big thanks, by the way, to Qualia for sponsoring this episode of Outspoken. But now, back to the show.
Personal experience. A late-night police raid initiated by false allegations from former Reform Party colleagues relating solely to words I had allegedly spoken. The party of free speech, indeed. The Reform leadership's bitter attempt to see me in prison failed, but too many others do not escape the consequences of such vile misuse of the system.
And Rupert, that's Rupert. Paul, I think Rupert is making a very fair point here, actually. And when people come for me, which they often do, and say, Dan, well, Reform UK is the only chance to save the United Kingdom, you're quite tough on them. I say, look, I voted for Reform UK at the last election. I was the first person to predict I think Nigel Farage will be Prime Minister by 2029. It's possible, Paul, that if there was an election tomorrow and I thought that there was the most chance of Reform UK seeing this hard leftist Islamist bloc go, that I would vote for them again. However, that moment for me when Rupert Lowe was reported to the police for hurty words was a big one. And there's been absolutely no reckoning within Reform UK about what happened. And I can't just forget it and move on.
Look, Dan, I think you give everyone a very fair crack at the whip. I mean, look, for me, I think the vast majority of people in the United Kingdom right now are sick and tired of hypocrisy politics. And for me, I'm afraid that is where, in many cases, Reform and Nigel Farage has led us. I am now, as I think you know, a member of Advance UK. I'm also on the college.
Yes, you are, with Ben Habib, which I think is great, by the way. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Ben, for me, is the man that gives the people what they need. I think Nigel and his team missed the biggest trick in the book by, basically removing or making Ben and one or two other people unwelcome within the party. Together, united, they could have stormed this country politically like never before. Unfortunately, there's a split, but for me, it's Advance and Ben 100%. I'm afraid Nigel has lost my confidence for many, many reasons that we won't go into right now. But look, as you say, if there was a general election tomorrow, the way we would have to vote, potentially tactically in some areas, we'd have to wait and see. But you're right.
Totally. And who knows what's going to happen? And obviously, I hope that so you just make your point. Sorry, Paul, I interrupted.
No, sorry, Dan. I was just going to repeat. It's the hypocrisy politics that I think the vast majority of people are sick and tired of. And I want to see candidates and politicians that tell the truth, tell us it is, and give the people something not only to hope for, something to believe in, Dan, politicians that we can actually believe, because we've given these people so many mandates in the past and they've let us down. The problem for me, one of the problems with Reform is they're taking people into the party who have failed in the past. This is like employing a football manager who's just seen his last team relegated. It's not going to work.
Yeah, there's that whole debate about where the Tories should come in. Also, it would be remiss of me not to mention this major piece of news today in regards to Reform UK. Nathan Gill, who was the party's former leader in Wales, jailed for taking bribes for pro-Russia speeches. Police say he received at least £40,000. He's gone to jail. I mean, this is an extraordinary sentence to me, Paul. 10.5 years. I mean, I'm not a supporter of that. I think that is absolutely nuts. And I definitely do believe this is the judicial system weaponizing themselves against Reform UK in the same way we have seen the judicial system weaponizing themselves against Tommy Robinson for years. However, that said, let's just take it as read that this guy is indeed guilty. It very much feels ironic to me that, you know, Rupert Lowe was such an issue. Do you know what I mean?
I do, Dan. I do indeed. I mean, it's a very serious charge. We'll have to see how it comes out in the wash, and I'm sure there will be a lot more to come out about this.
Indeed there will. Indeed there will. And of course, one thing that I can guarantee is the mainstream media will go totally bananas for this story because it fits into their agenda. And I would just argue that Reform UK haven't made it easy for themselves because what they needed was a united right. And unfortunately, the way that they treated Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe means that, like in the US, and we're seeing that divide play out at the moment, the UK right is divided too. Now, you can try and pretend that isn't happening. I would argue that's intellectually dishonest. For me, I just want to tell you what I think, but I also stress out, you know, it's not me who's cancelled Reform UK being on the show. They have chosen to do that themselves.